Hello folks, this is Aityan Ajha from inspiretorize.com and today we are going to talk about the newly launched Oppo F7. So guys, the Oppo F7 comes with a LTPS IPS LCD display at 6.23 inches and an 82.5% screen to body ratio, 405 pixel per inch density, and the display is definitely good. And I felt that the contrast ratio is better than a lot of other displays out there. At the bottom there's the 3.5mm jack, micro USB ports, speaker grill, and on the right hand side there's the power button along with the SIM tray slot for this one. The SIM tray slot is good as it's a dedicated micro SD card slot present there, and at the top there's the noise cancellation microphone. At the back there's the single camera and the fingerprint sensor. The camera is slightly protruding out, and on the left hand side of the phone there's the volume rocker. The device sports an aluminium finish, and at the back there's a very glossy surface. So the problem is present on all three of its colors that you have to keep it clean in a very nice way possible, because the smudges are really visible, fingerprints are visible on the phone, and you have to clean it in order to get the sparkly mirror finish. Now let's talk about what's on the inside. Inside it comes with a Mediatek Helio P60 chipset, which is a premium chipset, 12nm based chipset. Power consumption is low on this chipset. Performance is higher than Snapdragon 626 in terms of raw numbers. It has a Mali G72 MP3 GPU, Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection, and if we talk about few other things, it would come with 4GB of RAM, 64GB storage for the normal edition, and 128GB storage and 6GB RAM for the special edition. If I talk about Antutu benchmark score, it's quite great when compared to a lot of other smartphones in the similar price range, and the Helio P60 is a new chipset, but its multi-core performance is higher than something like a Samsung Galaxy Note 7 also. So it's a newer chipset and people need to give it some time in order to prove its performance and to see how well does it perform. If I talk about gameplay etc., every game was running smoothly on this device. Games like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, even on maximum possible settings and every effect set to maximum, were playing fine, and games like Tekken also were playing really well on this smartphone. So I have to say that in terms of performance I didn't find any issue, and all of the games were playing nicely on full screen mode, so there is no issue as such. There are three different colors and I personally like this Moonlight Silver variant a lot. Let's talk about the main thing, which is the camera for Oppo devices. 25 megapixel selfie camera is seen on this one, and Oppo has put in a lot of time and effort towards making selfies better on this smartphone. They say that it would be clear in backlight condition. It has 296 facial feature spots which improve beautification around your eyes and other features, and when I put it to test, it was definitely working. They have different beautification algorithms for different people in a similar frame. And to take things really far, they have also introduced a new slim face mode wherein you can slim your face or maybe enlarge it depending upon your preferences. There's another mode which is known as vivid mode, wherein if you enable it, it would enable face protection and not make your face vivid but the background vivid, which looks really great. And they also have AR stickers just like Animoji, and there are a lot of different AI presets for a lot of different scenarios wherein you would be clicking pictures. This smartphone is amongst the first to have a HDR sensor for the selfie camera, which is a Sony 576 sensor, and this enables a lot of different features. So what this enables is that you can preview bokeh in real time while clicking shots, and you can also see that the images taken from the front selfie camera are really great. So all of that high dynamic range which is generated via hardware based HDR is definitely more than that generated by software based HDR. So +1 for that to Oppo. The primary camera is a 16 megapixel one with a f1.8 aperture, and if we look at all of the selfies taken from this camera, they are definitely some of the best selfies that I have seen till date, and the portrait mode works on both primary as well as the front camera. The lack of two sensors does not make the portrait mode on this phone any bad or worse than some other phones out there. It works just like a Google Pixel 2 would work. But there is a con, that this smartphone does not support 4K video recording on both the back as well as the front camera. The Helio P60 is capable of real-time HDR recording, but that feature is also nowhere to be seen. And now let's test the audio playback for this device. The audio was loud and clear even under noisy conditions, and if I talk about few other things that this smartphone does have, Then I have to point out that zoom to fill is properly implemented on the smartphone, works nicely on videos, YouTube, etc. And all of the gestures like iOS, something that was seen on Vivo V9 also are present here. You can also use the normal Android style buttons, but the gestures are also present here and they work fine for the time being. I also want to tell all of you guys that the unit that I tested was the one with 6 GB RAM. So I can't assure you whether the performance would be similar on the 4 GB RAM variant or not. The device comes with ColorOS 5.0 based on Android 8.1, but I feel that they won't be updating it to any other Android version anytime soon. That's an issue with Oppo. And if I talk about few other features, there is the AI board, which is very useful and recognizes your usage patterns, and also a specific Indian theme for users. There's also one great feature that while you are watching videos fully on the screen, you can multitask via these small shortcut buttons which can allow you to screen record or maybe take a screenshot, and there's another third option which allows you to set it to a DND mode. So these are all great for things like watching videos, etc. It comes with a 3400 mAh battery, and this is something that we need to test for a long period of time in order to tell you whether the battery life would last nicely or not. This phone would retail for a price of around 22,000 rupees for the 4 GB RAM variant, and if we talk about the 6 GB RAM variant, it would retail for a price of around 27,000 rupees. And at such a price, I think that the 22,000 rupees variant is a good deal. It would start with a flash sale on 2nd April, and people can also get nice offers like Geo data offer, ICICI Bank 5% offer, 0% EMI offer, and there's also 1 year screen replacement offer. So all of these offers make it a little bit more lucrative when compared to few other competitors out there. The first sale would start from April 9, and if I talk about whether this smartphone is worth buying or not, it might be too early to give a final verdict, but when you compare it to the competition like the Vivo V9, this smartphone sports a better display, a better camera experience, and if I talk about design, I think that the Vivo V9 still feels a little bit more premium in few things when compared to the Oppo F7. If I talk about few other things also, there are a lot of issues with the Vivo V9 at this point of time in terms of software department, and they would be fixed anytime soon. But if I talk about the Oppo smartphone, this one has the ColorOS, which would definitely slow down, might be a little bit over a period of time. That makes it slightly less appealing to a lot of users out there. The diamond cut design of the black version looks really great in my opinion, and it's very glossy and very reflective and prone to fingerprints. So guys, this was it for this video. Would you buy the Oppo F7? Would you recommend it to your friends or colleagues? Do let me know in the comment section below, and guys, no matter what you do, stay inspired to rise.